Good afternoon, Raider fans. I'm glad to be back. It's been a while. I wanted to do a quick video this afternoon because I want to discuss the Raiders' Week 2 versus Bills. We saw last week the Raiders versus the Broncos. That was kind of that was really a stressful game offensively. We saw Jimmy Garoppolo throw that pick in the end zone. Luckily, he did not get out of the end zone. They kept him in the end zone for only get to the 25-yard line, and we did stop him on that drive to force a punt. But there are things against the Bills that we're going to have to adjust coming into Week 2 against the Bills. Jacorian Bennett, he looked pretty good last week. He did have seven tackles altogether, but he did have that flag for a face mask, holding on the face mask, which was a real unfortunate thing because he would have stopped them behind the line there and get and that probably would have forced a punt on that drive. But again, they got the extra yards there because of that holding call. So again, things we're going to need to adjust offensively are what can we do better on defense to keep the Bills down offensively, hold Josh Allen down to a minimum of 200 yards, 250 yards this game. Not allow as many touchdowns as well in this game as we saw last game. And not to say that there were a lot of touchdowns, but there were a lot of things we needed to adjust defensively, let him get huge plays wide open to Cortland Sutton. And again, they've got Stephon Diggs on this team. They've got Gabriel Davis. And one of the things I did see in particular that the Bills struggled in against the Jets offensively was that, there were several times Josh Allen was trying to throw deep downfield and ended up turning into a pick because, there were like three guys on Stephon Diggs or Gabriel Davis. And it was just plays, not smart plays they shouldn't have been making. When there's guys that are open, for easy 5, 6, 7 yards, that they could have been making the play to. So again, those are the things defensively that I think if we can figure out how to adjust to that and how to keep them again to a minimum of 200 yards that game and not allow as many touchdowns, that could be the thing that could help us win the game. But offensively, we have to adjust too. We're not going to be having Jacoby Myers in this game, and that's something we got to look at and be like, well, how do we adjust offensively? Having Hunter Renfrow in there, who was not as impressive last season because he was out several games due to injuries. He was out week 2 already last season due to concussion against the Arizona Cardinals. So we have to adjust offensively and learn what we can do and what we can't. Again, having Devontae Adams in there and having Michael Mayer in there, who we signed this offseason in the draft, is really good because he's learned really quickly so far. He unfortunately did not get any catches last week. Austin Hooper only got one catch. The primary guys were Jacoby Myers and Devontae Adams, who looked pretty good. Devontae Adams had just over 60 yards receiving last week. But again, Jacoby Myers looked really good and really healthy offensively last week. But unfortunately, again, due to concussion protocol, he will be out this week. So we've got to really adjust and keep our eyes on Hunter Renfrow and Devontae Adams and really even Michael Mayer too. These guys, if we can get them in there offensively and get them connected in the game plan, we can potentially win this game. Again, we got to be smart with the ball, though. We can't be slinging it downfield, like it's fourth quarter, 2 seconds left in the game. Got to be smart. Got to move it slowly. And again, giving the ball to Josh Jacobs, letting him run the ball a few times in the game. Really, because again, they don't have Von Miller in this game. He's out. One of their best linebackers is out. So if we can get him in there and get the defense just scrambled and trying to figure out how to contain him, we can use him to pick up an easy 12 yards, offensively per play. Saw him do pretty good towards the end of the game last week. Towards the beginning, he definitely struggled a bit, only picking up 1 yard, 2 yards at a time. So again, that's something we got to definitely look at offensively. And again, like I'm saying, adjust to that. Because if we can adjust to them and adjust to their defense, we do have a strong chance of winning the game. We can't be getting lazier towards the fourth quarter like we did last season. And when we had 17-point leads going into the half, 20-point lead going into the half, like we did Arizona Cardinals, then getting lazy with the ball. And unfortunately, that's why I think we lost to the Arizona Cardinals. We just weren't playing smart football towards the end of the game, and that caused several issues for us in the third quarter, primarily fourth quarter though. But again, if we can continue Josh Allen. And we can get a few stocks on him again. We're gonna have Max Crosby, and we're gonna have Tyree Wilson. We won't have Chandler Jones still out due to personal issues. We're gonna be waiting and see what goes on with him. If the Raiders will, if he's gonna continue to stay out, or we'll be back in Week 3 versus Steelers. Hopefully he'll be back because again, Tyree Wilson he looked okay last week. Definitely struggled a bit. So it was, for his game. But Max Crosby did look pretty good. Got credited with 1.5 sacks last week. And he is starting to become. He's been really good. We've seen that in the offseason in practice. And first game of the season, you can tell he's already doing really well. But again, we got to get that defense. We've got to adjust on defensively and learn how to adjust, what to do. And again, just hold and keep the penalties back. 10 penalties this past week for nearly 100 yards. Um, Negative 100 yards. That's almost an entire football field of penalties just because, stupid things, holding calls, false starts on the offense, even I believe one false start on the defense as well. So if we can get those, false start penalties under control and the holding penalties under control for some of the newer guys in there, that can really help us defensively to hold them on third down plays and really just keep going and scoring. We got to take a nice big lead in the first half. That way, in the second half, we can continue to hopefully do that. But if we get tired out, we'll have that lead in there to hopefully keep us safe. So yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. What you think the final score for the Raiders Bills game will be, and again, what do you think we have to do defensively and offensively, adjusting the football to be able to win this game? Because winning against the Bills would be huge for the Raiders, especially going 2-0. Last season went 0-3 for starting off the first 3 games. Lost to the we lost to the Arizona Cardinals. We lost to the Chargers, and then I can't remember where the other team was, but we lost to them as well. But yeah, if we win this game, go 2-0, and then the next week towards the Steelers, hopefully we can beat them as well. Yeah, started the season off 3-0, which would be amazing. Haven't done that in 2 years. 2 years ago, started off 3-0, and that would again just be amazing starting off 3-0 this season to really give us that forward push. Give me the entire hype for the beginning of the season, and potentially even the playoff bound. Again, we have to wait and see though what we're going to do offensively this season. Is it going to look the same as it did last season? Or is it going to look better? We got a lot of new guys in here, so a lot of promise for the Raiders. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below.